Man, this is lifestyles of the poor and unfucking fortunate. But I tell you what, but bitch, we got views.
ChadArmesTV, we are back with my brother from another,
Yes,
Brodnax.
How y'all doing, Bob?
Man, we're great, man. Thank you again for letting us link up with you. It's beautiful out here. We're actually, you want to tell them where we're at right now?
Yeah, we downtown Monroe in a little courtyard right here across from the river, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what I want to tell the people, we already do have an interview with me and you. It's like a 30-minute interview that we shot the first time we ever met.
Right.
And it was when y'all were in the middle of recording music. There was a lot of stuff going on. We didn't even know each other than Instagram.
Yep.
And the interview's cool, but I feel like we really just scraped the surface. We didn't really get to dive in more in depth with you and about your story.
Right on.
About you. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of want to just do a more deep dive. So what we're going to do, there's going to be all kinds of different facets to this interview with you, John. But I want to kind of start just from the beginning.
Okay.
Is this where you're born and raised? Are you Louisiana all the way?
Born and raised. Matter of fact, just a couple blocks over at St. Francis Medical, Monroe, Louisiana. We were there until '88. My mama got remarried. We moved to West Monroe '88, and I basically stayed right around there pretty much ever since. I'm in Calhoun now, but yeah, Monroe, West Monroe, baby, born and raised. Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Monroe?
So not a whole lot to get out and go do, baby. So organized sports is like the focus, Friday night lights type of deal. Everybody's gonna get together and go to the local high school football game. That's like the highlight of the deal. So it's a lot of trouble to get into too,
For sure.
But man, it's really, I grew up in a pretty good little neighborhood, man, that had a lot of kids that was into the same stuff that I was into.
Yeah.
So a bunch of people around me, and that's the difference in me raising my kids out. I see the biggest difference in raising my kids in the country is there ain't no neighbors, and that was what I had that they don't have, but they still get to socialize at school. Yeah, but by Monroe, West Monroe, it's been a cool place to grow up, and I think it put me through the ringer as far as what I was gonna do as far as rap music. Yeah. If it was ever a place that was trying to deny me of that or tell me that wasn't what I was supposed to be doing, this was it. So it built me up even stronger, baby. Built me up even stronger.
Yeah, and so like growing up, like before you got into the music, were you into sports and stuff too? Was that your thing too growing up?
Oh yeah, that was my first love. Yeah. My first love was baseball, then football, and then later on, and as a teenager, I fell in love with basketball, but definitely sports was my first love, and probably helped introduce me to the music in the form of another. Athletes is always going to be, looking and digging for the next music, So I think it all kind of worked hand in hand. But yeah, man, ball. I was a catcher.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Yeah, and pretty decent little ball player. If I had known, I would like I tell my kids, dog, like this is a game we playing, baby. Not only are you going to play the game out at the ballpark, baby, the how you interact with the coaches, how you interact with the teachers, how you interact with everybody, baby, and networking. And see me, I wasn't coachable. I didn't want to buddy with the coaches. I didn't want to buddy with the teachers. I didn't really understand the game overall that we was playing here, and being likable and being kind and like leaving a good impression on your coaches, leaving a good impression on your teachers, whatever the case. But yeah, man, if I had, and that's what's cool about getting to raise kids, everything that I kind of took the wrong turn on, I get to download into my kids what we should be doing, and that's the way I'm trying to push them, baby, is go play the game, baby, the game of life, Dick, the game of life, baby. That's really all we doing is playing the game.
All right, so you was talking about how you was really into sports. When did the music come in? And not even so much from an artist side, but just from something you may have heard growing up that got you where you like got your ear? You know what I'm saying? Whether it was rap or rock or whatever it was.
I always loved music, baby. But La Bamba was the first song that I learned, and I wanted to be able to mimic that. So the first song I actually ever learned was a Spanish song. And,
oh, no.
Yeah, and then I got into the movie, the Ricky Valens movie, and I guess that story might have triggered it, you know.
Yeah.
But music's always been such a huge part of my family's culture, baby, that there was no running from it. I mean, it was. People played instruments. Everybody had a little pinking and grinning and singing, and I mean, that was a big part of our family's get-togethers.
Yeah.
Just sitting around and stuff. But rap music, definitely West Coast music.
Okay.
When the West Coast came on the scene, and my sister was 10 years older than me, so she kind of introduced me to music by way of the movies. And she took me to Color, she took me to Juice, she took me to Minister Society, she took me to all those classic movies, man. And by then I had already fallen in love with the culture. So I was eating it up. You know, it affected the way I talked, it affected the way I dressed, I walked, I moved. I was so in love with the culture that it consumed me.
No, for sure.
You know, and that was probably I bumped into my homeboy at the football game the other night, David Cole, and we were sitting there talking about how far. Dude asked him, he was like, "Dave, you know Brodnax?" Yeah, man. Me and him go way back. And he said, has that dude always been into this, or is this just something he picked up, or what's the story on him? He said, man, since I've known that dude, he's been writing raps in class, and this was fourth grade, dog.
Oh, so that's when you started writing raps, when you was 14,
yeah, like
right?
I would play. I thought I was doing like poetry form, but you know, I was really like trying to write my little raps. But it was so taboo at that time that I would say I was writing poems.
Yeah. Because this was probably like early mid-90s.
Yeah, this was.
Yeah.
So
it was just like Vanilla Ice and what third base.
Yeah, and Vanilla. As much as people would like to blow on Vanilla Ice, and as much people like to go capping and talking about Vanilla Ice, baby, he had a huge impact on me.
No, I mean, for sure.
To see a white dude, and I think that was everybody's first white dude.
Yeah.
You know, that we saw that was actually doing some rap shit. So I did Vanilla Ice, Ice Baby in the talent show. I did LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out in the talent show. And I think that was probably 5th and 6th grade. So probably really like started getting into it 4th grade, 5th grade, entered the talent show, 6th grade entered the talent show. And then that was probably the end of that era, because you know, once you go to middle school and high school, there ain't no more talent shows. But yeah, 4th grade I would say would be the actual time that I can remember, and somebody else testifying to saying, I remember you writing raps and being into rap as far as back as 4th grade.
That's awesome, man. I didn't know it was that early. That's cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool that you mentioned about the talent shows, because we had them in where I went to school at in high school. And I told Bubba this. I did Bubba Sparks Ugly at the talent show.
Hell yeah.
Because that was like, for me, I mean, Vanilla Ice when I was a kid. But when I started wanting to be a rapper, it was because of Eminem and Bubba Sparks. When I heard Bubba Sparks Ugly, I was like, bruh, this is crazy. Because dudes couldn't, like, so that's cool that we both kind of, yours was earlier, but we didn't even have talent shows in elementary school where I lived at. But that's cool.
And you mentioned Bubba. Shout out Bubba Sparks. I got to tell him, and if people don't know, baby, this little genre that we do, and I told him personally, baby, but can't nobody say country rap, can't nobody say shit without mentioning Bubba Sparks, baby. I really think he was so ahead of the curve, and you can be so early that you miss it. Of course, Bubba Sparks didn't miss it. He was nationally recognized and has huge songs and made a huge stain on the game, but look how far behind the world was of what he was doing.
Yeah.
So it's just now getting to a point where we being taken seriously and looked at as people that can actually do some pretty cool music, and you got to credit that to Bubba Sparks, baby. Yeah. You got to say his name And whether people end up calling him the pioneer or whatever, in my opinion, it would be Pimp C and Bubba Sparks.
Yeah, for sure. Like when Bubba was doing, when he dropped Ugly in 2000 or 2001, and a white dude rapping in a mud pit full of hogs, Bizarre from D12's in the video. He talked about that on the podcast. Like that the world didn't know people's heads were exploding because they knew Eminem, but like seeing a country white dude do this
and rapping at a high level,
yeah, bro,
dog.
to Timbaland beats,
rapping at a high level, bro.
Yeah.
I caught him when Rick Ross dropped that should be touching that white. I'm talking Bubba Sparks. I caught him when I heard that. I think it was on the Pulitzer, and Rick Ross name dropped Bubba in one of his big songs on his last project. But ain't, man, just being able to sit here and say, hey, I reached out to him. We was talking on the phone today about this, that, and the third. Like, bro, I'm telling you, dog, I didn't know if I would ever get my opportunity. So to say that I got it, and now these other guys, like, I told Adam this last night, dog. Bubba was one of the first people before I even really got popping to hit me up and say, dog, bro, without going into our conversation, bro, just pretty much just tell me, one of the first dudes to reach out to me and say, hey, bro, you got a hell of a style and a hell of a, he wanted to know what I come up on. And the guys that do music, when we hear people shit, we kind of want to know the backstory, just like me and you sitting down here doing now.
Absolutely.
To see what influenced them and what was the biggest influence on their style.
Yeah.
But shout out Bubba Sparks, style.
Yeah, man, and I sent him a text a couple of days before the song with Adam dropped, because Adam let me hear it when I went to do his interview. And I just told Bubba, I was like, man, I really like that song. I said, I look forward to it dropping tomorrow. And he was talking about how much he appreciated it. He's ready, he talking about wanting to do the interview at some point. Then he even shouted out about how much he loved the song me and Lex dropped. So like he was just showing love on that end. So shout out to Bubba for sure.
Hell yeah.
He's making some dope shit again, and I love seeing that. So
yeah, and it was good to see. Shit, they did. Last time I looked, it was 120K.
Yeah.
Really, first day.
Well, I think it was 120, 130K first day, but I think they're like 170 when we're doing this. I looked at it earlier. I was listening to it this morning.
Yeah, they had 206.
No.
That's crazy. That's crazy to know that we doing that in a day's time organically, man. And I guess we'll go ahead and get into Adam since looking at that, dog. This
we can bounce it.
Last project, bro. This Country Rap Tunes project. I think it's going. People will look back at this and remember this as a time where he not only was transitioning out of rap music, but made one of his, not one of his best project.
Yeah.
And by going and how cool, Adam wanted it to be more hip hop. He wanted to take the hip hop away from it because he knew that we was capable of doing more than just that.
Yeah.
And not to diss hip hop or nothing. Everybody can have their place. There's enough room for everybody. But he really wanted to come in and let it be more rap driven, and I think he's done that.
He's 3 for 3 so far with the songs that he's dropped from the project.
Yeah.
The one with y'all, the one with Bubba, and Ramble On, which she was telling me about that before it dropped, and you were 100% on with what you were saying. It's a smash. For sure.
I knew as soon as I heard the first little I think it's I don't think it's a Scatterbrains beat.
Yeah.
Comes in with the little bridge, I think.
Yeah.
I knew as soon as I heard that cadence, I was like, man, this is gonna be undeniable right here.
Yeah.
But to see him, and he's excited about the releases again. He's excited about the video shoots again. He's excited, about this project. And it's been a while since I've seen him. We've been chopping it up, kicking it for a couple of years. It's been a while since I've seen him excited about music, dog.
Yeah.
But he mentioned it in his interview, and the account, Louisiana Redneck Rave.
Yeah.
First time First time the Redneck Rave had ever been to Louisiana, my boy Keith Powell called me and he said, hey man, my drummer has canceled on me, my DJ has canceled on me, I don't got nobody to back me up, bro. I'm doing vocal tracks, I need somebody to come down there and help me. I got his songs, studied up on his songs, basically going up there to back him up on stage.
Hi, man,
And we go, Adam's there checking, he gets through checking, we grab the mic, and you know, as soon as I got the mic in my hand and you know, something happens, dog, you know, you really want to you leave your best impression on whatever you fixing to do. But anyway, shortly after we got through checking, we met him up on the side of the stage, exchanged information, and snapped a couple pictures. Not too long after that, I was headed to Chicago to meet up with him. And the cool thing about that is that, you know, he didn't have to invite me up there. He didn't have to put a no-name dude on a project or none of that. So just giving me that platform for where I could be seen, dog, and get a little exposure, and then sign me to a one album. Not that I care, but I think a lot of people think that I'm still signed to hustle hard. Me and Adam did a one project deal. It was Brodnax, the album, just to kind of get me a little head start. Showed me the blueprint of the apparel, how the business works. And if I didn't get it then, I can call him at any time. I mean, we talk 2 or 3 times a day most days, and just trying to, he's somebody that will allow me to speak freely. No matter even if I'm saying some shit that he don't agree with or going against what he's saying. And there ain't a lot of people that I can interact like that with. And it's so good, man. I mean, get you somebody that you can interact with and speak freely with, baby, that ain't, you not restricted to say what you think you should say to them, and you can say what you want to say to them, dog. That's mine and my Adam Calhoun's relationship. I can say exactly what I want to that dude, and he can do the same to me. And we might raise hell with each other behind it. But if you ain't doing that in your relationships, baby, y'all just jerking each other off. Just to please each other, and then you get home and you go sit down with your wife, and then you get to talking about what you really wanted to say. Bitch, that's, you know. But man, it reminded me how rare a relationship like that is. But baby, let your people go against you sometime, baby. Let your people say some, be open enough to where, you know, the way I look, baby, and my size, I guess, I don't know. People has always really just kind of told me what they thought I wanted to hear. You know, most of my life, people just kind of jerked me off is what I'd call it. You know, just kind of, they were scared to piss me off. You know, you get a reputation of being whatever, and the next thing you know, people don't want to be honest with you because they are afraid how you gonna react. Baby, I'm a sweetheart, really, bro. I mean, you know what I mean? And I would want people to know that first. Like, baby, don't just take the way I look, because if I ain't smiling, I seen a football player do an interview the other day. He said, man, you know, I've struggled with, like, people judging me off of my facial expression, because if I'm not smiling and I'm just sitting there in thought, I probably look upset. But it's just my face, baby. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna walk around with a plastic smile on to make sure you're okay with the way that I look. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, baby, don't judge somebody just off of, you know, baby. But anyway, the most important part of that, baby, is being able to open up to the people that you doing work and doing music with, and be able to say, baby, I think them bars right there was kind of, you know, not whack, but, you know what I mean, I think you could probably put a little bit better in that. And I really don't like I really ain't a big fan of the beat. If you can't come out and say that, baby, don't even let him send you the song no more. Cause he gonna send you the song, and you gonna tell him, oh, that bitch is fire, no matter what. you shouldn't even let that some bitch send you no music no more if you ain't gonna critique it. Like, honestly. But anyway, I say all that to say that I've sharpened myself. I'm sure I've sharpened Adam, and what turned out to be a struggle relationship because we're so much alike end up when we finally let the walls down and said, you know what, I can't change him, he can't change me, this is just gonna be our dynamic. What a beautiful thing, dog. You know, and to give me the opportunity that I've taken advantage of. A lot of people say, oh boy, put so and so on, or Adam put Brodnax on. Yeah, true in a sense, baby, but you still have to come do the work.
I always say it's like somebody can throw you at the O, but you gotta dunk it.
You gotta dunk it, baby.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. That anybody that says that is just people that are probably low key, not even low key, just probably envious of them not getting the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But for sure, salute to Adam, absolutely. So we're backtracking because we're gonna jump around and that's fine the way we're doing this.
Yeah, it is.
So going back to like your music. You said we were talking about Vanilla Ice. We was talking about you was doing the talent show stuff. You started writing raps. When did you start recording? Do you remember when you recorded your first, like, song or verse or whatever in the studio?
Do y'all remember? Well, I can't say it was the studio, baby. Do y'all remember the Iowa boom boxes that they sold at Walmart?
Yeah.
So it was AIWA. It had 2 tape decks on it, and it had a mic input.
Yep.
So I think that was we bought the nice one. I think it was, at the time, I mean, was expensive to us, like $169.
Yeah, that's the one that had the changer, the CD changer up top.
I mean, it was the nicer one. It had the little digital, it had a little bass subwoofer, and then 2 bigger speakers.
Yeah.
So we chip in, we buy this. We go and we start just playing with one side of the tape. You know, you buy a little rack of blank tapes, you throw the tapes in there, went to Radio Shack, got the best mic we could afford. We come back home, baby, we start playing around. So to have beach, you go to the mall, you buy the maxi singles, and they have an instrumental of whatever the song was on the B side of the tape.
Yeah.
You throw the B side in one side, you rap over the motherfucker, and the next thing you know, people's coming over and we starting to do music. That way is how we started. And then we learned that you could take a ball of paper and put it in the little square down there, and it would let you dub over without erasing what you had previously recorded. So we could actually stack on a cassette tape.
Bro, I did not know that. That's crazy.
You could take you could take a piece of paper and put it in the bottom of the tape, and it would let you overdub without erasing what you had previously recorded.
Oh, wow, that's dope, dude. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How'd y'all figure that out?
Shane Champlin was the guy.
Okay.
Shane Champlin was like, hey man, we could stuff some paper in these things and we can record over what we just did. Bruh, we was stacking on cassette tapes, stuffing Kleenex and balled up pieces of notebook paper. Yeah. And I bet you there's somebody out there, I'd like to know in the comments if anybody else know you could do that. We couldn't be the only people that knew. Shane had to have found that out from somebody. But shout out Shane Champlin, baby.
Oh, that's dope.
Shout out
that
Shane
was way
Champlin.
before you could get online and search it. That was before internet and any of that shit, man.
But I would say, so the tapes circulated around a small group of people, and then, you know, we was kind of become known as the people that would get together on the weekends and rap and freestyle over cassette tapes. Mm-hmm. That got into some people's hands that knew a guy over in Monroe named Tito Davis, who owned Legalized Records, which ended up turning out to be my first record deal.
Okay.
Tito gets one of the tapes. They called me to a session. I could not tell you where the session was, but that was Riding Dirty, Havoc, the $1 Million Mouthpiece. Yeah. We did a remix to a song he had on the radio. That was my first song ever on the radio. I was probably only 16 or 17 years old.
I was just fixing to ask you how old you were.
96, 97.
Yep.
And then in turn, we went directly so when we found out we had studios locally, we started researching or whatever we did back then, and we found Diamond Recording Services, which is 5 minutes away from where I grew up.
That's
and
crazy.
man, just
so that's where y'all went.
That became the main place.
Yeah.
That
But
became.
it started with the tapes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Started with the tapes. Word got around. So really, the point would be to me is like, baby, don't worry about what format you doing it on. If you dope, baby, and you got a passion for it, and you got to rap into your headphones to get started, bitch, rap into your headphones to get started, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you got the cadence and you got the style, baby, it's not gonna matter. It's not really gonna matter at the end of the day how poor the quality is. Wherever you gotta start, baby, start there. Don't be worried about the wrong shit. You know what I mean? But if you're doing it for the love, baby, it's not gonna matter what it sounds like at first.
Yeah. So you said your first record deal was how you said that's when you were 16, 17 years old?
Yep, Legalized Records. I'm gonna say 96 just to be safe.
Yeah.
And so when we brought it back, me and Tito only did and we didn't do nothing on paper. It was just like, hey, baby, you want to come sign? You want to?
For sure.
We called it sign.
Yeah.
But we would actually do no paperwork.
Yeah.
It was a gentleman's agreement and a handshake. That you come over here and we're gonna do music together until we don't do it no more.
Yeah.
So we end up coming back to West Monroe, and Russ B. I kind of created Two Real Records. I came up with the name and the logo, but these guys was fun and everything. Him and KK, some local guys from West Monroe, got all of us together. And at the time, there was a bunch of guys from West Monroe that rapped. I would say, I might be stretching it by saying 25, but there was definitely 20 of us.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Definitely 20 of us. And
like your own version of like Screwed Up Click or something.
Yep,
Kinda.
yep. Yeah. And all West Monroe guys, most of them related, cousins or whatever, but we was all a tight-knit little group. And to say we got past each other's egos and all that shit at that age, 18 years old, with that many personalities and that many, it's just, to look back on it and think of how much we did and how much time and energy that we actually put into it, it ain't no wonder where we at, dawg. Because we've been chasing this and tracking this down for a long time. And we just in little bitty old Monroe, Louisiana. I would tell people that if I was born in a metropolitan city, baby, not to pull my own chain, but we would have been recognized a long time ago.
For sure.
If we had been from a bigger city. Yeah.
Because to be able to get heard,
that's all you waiting on.
Yeah, for sure. And especially somewhere like here where there's not. It's not like, for example, where we're at, Nashville, like, or Atlanta or Texas, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I'm trying to think. So y'all did that. Y'all just started recording, putting out tapes and stuff locally. Just was just slowly building things up.
Wood ready.
Okay.
Wood makes paper, paper makes cash. I know you wood ready, better get up off your ass. Everybody kind of wanted to know. We was trying to do like a double entendre, like we from the woods, but at the same time we had a little slogan behind it. Wood ready was basically money is,
Yeah, okay. I'll put it up on the screen.
Money is made out of wood in a sense, and and we was doing that, talking about Bubba being ahead of the curve, baby. We was just a little bit too ahead of the country rap shit.
Yeah.
But we was trying to do that in 2000. We was trying to make that. We was trying to make that happen in 2000.
Yeah. So you were doing that. Y'all dropped the Wood Ready was actually from 2000 when that dropped.
Yep. And probably even recorded it early. So the Two Real stuff that I was telling you about, we recorded a lot of those songs while doing it with them. And then when we broke off and actually put the songs out and put them on a project, that ended up being Wood Ready. So a lot of that stuff that we was talking about with Russ and Two Real Records was a huge part of my early rap career. 98, 99, those songs, because studio was expensive, baby. We couldn't.
Oh, for sure. Back then?
So it took us a long time to get those songs together and to get them ready.
All right, so we relocated It got pretty crunk down there downtown, Bubba.
Which is a rare fucking occasion for Monroe, Louisiana. Yeah, shout out to everybody going to homecoming and all them kids get to experience that. We was down there right in the middle of homecoming pictures and music, and it just got too loud, baby. Although it was sweet looking, we probably should have stayed tucked in that little spot we was at. But anyway, we back at the house now at the studio, which it's comfortable for me. So.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, whatever works, man. We left off at Wood Ready. You said that was in 2000, right?
Right on.
And so that when y'all did that record, did y'all see some buzz start to kind of grow from that?
Locally, for sure.
Yeah.
Locally, I think Wood Ready is what everybody's gonna remember. And even the people that wasn't into my music, they know it. You know what I mean? It was, I think it was that much of a staple locally because we would go do all the little bars on the weekend. We wouldn't get paid to do the shows. We might have got a free bar tab or something, but most all our little friends and whatnot would come out. We could pack a little bar full of people, and we would perform all the songs that was on Wood Ready. And really, that's when we learned approaching an album, how we should mix it and not taking shortcuts on that, not taking shortcuts on the production. There was no such thing as music videos back then. The only platform you had to put a music video on was MTV or BET. And we were so far away from that it's just crazy to talk about it. And like music videos weren't even a part of our process.
Not back then, bro. Yeah, because it was so expensive to shoot them. Like on interviews that I've shot with other artists, like Lil White said it cost like 30 or 40 grand to shoot the I Show Will video.
Wow.
Sonny said it cost 30 or 40 grand to shoot old videos for Street Flavor back in the day, like in the 90s. Like, so it's just wild to think back then because you had to, there wasn't stuff like we have now,
Hell no, it wasn't.
So let's move forward to like your first solo release. Would that have been Narrow Path, or did you have some stuff that you had released previously solo before that one, or was that the first one that you would consider?
Narrow Path is probably 2012, 2013. Yeah, I would say that's definitely my first solo project,
And
especially one that we publicized.
Yeah. And you said that you released Wood Ready in 2000?
Yep.
So between there, what all was happening in between that release and then just stuff, was you still...
So personally, I was always doing something. I was always recording something or doing something, but you take social media out of the equation, you take videos out of the equation, you pretty much take getting noticed, other than right there in your local community, out of the equation, Chad. And there's really not a lot of attention. You can't get a lot of attention back then.
Sure.
We would pack up and go on the road. It's where I got turned on to the Nashville scene. I think I've spoke on it before with you, but it was only other time in my life that I saw another white boy rap scene in my life. And not only was it white guys doing the music, when we rode down y'all's little Tiger Mart, Jackson, whatever the little street was, Broadway that was popping, it was all white boys in foreigns on the Renzos and Blades, and we had never seen that anywhere other than Louisiana. So we had that in common. So I kind of was fond of Nashville just for the simple fact that they was doing the same shit we was doing. But anyway, back to what we was talking about. What happened from 2000 to 2013? A bunch of music that never got put on a project in particular. And a lot of my ups and downs in between that time period too. So I'm thugging pretty good, baby. And when my music don't do well, I go darker in my habit, which happened to be cough syrup. And I pick up such a habit for it that I have to sell it to have it. And I really wasn't hustling to make no money. I was hustling to support my habit. A lot of people don't want to admit that and like want to claim that they was the drink man or the whatever. I was a drink head with a drink problem and ended up turning that into my hustle so I could support my addiction. They got a little saying down here, your habit is stronger than your hustle. And that is definitely what turned into my situation. So that developed into probably some of the darker time of my life, and to see it on such a high right now, cough syrup, drink, whatever, like to see it come from just this small little circle of screwed up clique to be forefront, and everybody's got double cups in their hand now. It's like, and this is an old head talking from experience, baby, that you drinking heroin, baby. You drinking heroin, baby, and that is a hell of a habit to try to. You just don't do that on the weekend and then pop up Monday and be cool, baby. You can for the first little few times, but anyway, I ain't trying to get that deep, but baby, you can't play with that, baby. You play with that a couple of times, baby, the next thing you know, you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, baby. And but anyway, it took me a long time to overcome that. So I got a pretty cool story that goes behind that too. So I developed a big drink habit. December 3rd, 2007, I had my fill. I pretty much had lost everything. And what I did have fit, y'all know them little tiny storage buildings? I mean, it's like the smallest one you can rent. A little narrow door and a little narrow strip. $35 a month, fit everything I owned in one of them. Go check myself in to avoid what I was thinking to come even worse, getting killed behind somebody or something bad happening, because I had been out there robbing people, that had drank or had beans or had pills or whatever. So I was just at my, and doing it to people that I respected and doing it to people that I had relationships with, the sons, so it got that deep. So I go in, I check in December 3rd, this is an important date, December 3rd, 2007. And when you're in recovery, you'll never forget the day that you went and got yourself straight. The next morning, the first night I went in there, I wake up the next morning, December 4, 2007. David Flickinger comes and knocks on my door and tells me that Pimp C has passed from a codeine overdose. I am in here for a codeine addiction. The first morning I wake up, a motherfucker comes and tells me that my favorite rapper has died from a cough syrup overdose. I cried. Well, he left the room, baby. I cried because I knew the Lord had to send me this big of a message. He had this message this big to send me. Boy, if you don't get your shit straight, you gonna die. If you don't finish this program and complete this program and get off this shit, boy, you gonna die. And in my mind, this is what was happening. The Lord was showing me on my first morning, because I ain't sleep all night. Felt like my bones was finna pop out my legs.
Just going through.
But that was the reason I come. And this is a 7-month program. This ain't one of them little 30-day in and out and you go home and get right back to what you was doing. 7 months they thought it took to change and took an effect on you. But baby, when they come and told me Pimp C had died from a cough syrup overdose, allegedly, I stuck it out, and baby, not to get into a bunch of the details, but what happened from 2000 to 2013, I picked up a big habit. I got rid of a big habit. I come home, I got with my wife, we had babies, and I felt like I needed to dedicate as much attention as I could to them babies. I grew up I had a great stepdad, but I grew up for the most part of my life with my dad absent. So if that happens to you, you're going to want to be the best daddy in the world because you didn't have one. So I really put a lot of attention on my family. And once I got my kids to a point where I felt like I could step back out and start doing some music again, I was on like this real spiritual side. So keep in mind, I had just come home, turn over this new leaf. I'm basically trying to learn how to live sober. And
how tough was that to get to when you was in there, being so addicted to the syrup? Like, how tough was it to come off that?
oh, baby, it is. You better.
Because like you said, it's essentially liquid heroin.
Synthetic.
Yeah, synthetic. Yeah.
Heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is no pump, baby. It's gonna take everything you got, and that's when I realized how strong I was.
Yeah.
Like I was really on some punk ass shit, running from my emotions, because every time I got something that was a little bit more than I could handle, I would numb it with that. And so I had to face all of the shit I had been running from this whole time. I had to face it in there. Without my people, without my parents, without my friends, without no numbing. I had to face it right there, head up. But the cool thing about it was a bunch of dudes in there from South Louisiana, all over the country. It was a bunch of dudes in there, and at the time, that was a popular thing to do, especially lower tabs. So it was a bunch of guys in there coming off of it, and we kind of come off of it together. So I had that camaraderie, knowing that a bunch of guys was in there going through the same thing with me, and they didn't quit. They didn't bitch up and leave, and we seen a bunch of dudes bitch up and leave. But we kind of, it was tough, but at the same time, that's when I learned that not only could I overcome something, I could face my problems head on, and I just kind of made a little vow to myself, like, dog, we're not running from nothing no more. We gonna face the shit head up. We gonna deal with it right then, because when you turn your back on your problems, baby, they creep up from behind you and choke your fucking ass. Wouldn't you rather stand there right there toe to toe and see what it is and get your ass kicked that way, baby, rather than turn around and let him come up behind you and choke your ass without you even knowing it was coming? So I just, that was when I started facing my problems head on. I come home, me and Brittany started seeing each other. We got married. We had babies. I raised my kids up until I felt like I got them to a point where I could maybe start slipping away a little bit more. I got a good job, financially stable for the first time in my life, starting to save a little money, trying to get, my life situated. And then, music is always at me, and I didn't find this out until later on in life, baby. Like, when I didn't create, I would get sick. Not like stomach sick, I would be like depressed. Yeah. And I didn't know why. I'm like I just ain't got nothing. I ain't inspired by nothing. I'm just kind of going through shit. And when you're an artist and you're used to creating, and the Lord's giving you the gift to create, and you don't use it, baby, you gonna get sick, baby. And that was what was happening to me. Unknowingly at the time, I was like kind of semi-depressed because I wasn't creating. And as soon as I hop in that booth, my heart starts beating different. The beats start playing. I start coming up with my stuff. And at this time, it's a little bit more spiritual on their path. And I saw that I wasn't able to appeal to a large group of people because it was more spiritual music. I still had my little street edge in there, and we still did slab songs, and we still kind of touched on street shit, so I wouldn't miss them entirely, but it was too spiritual. So I try again with Road Less Traveled, but I did the album so close together that it was the same vibe. Yeah, I didn't give myself a chance to see what I needed to change.
You dropped that in 2015, correct?
Yeah. And so anyway, we get all that music done, a bunch of music recorded, pretty much in the same time period. We gave them a little room to breathe before we re-released them, but Narrow Path and Road Less Traveled was basically recorded all at the same time. Yeah. We gave Narrow Path a little bit of time to see what it was going to do. We didn't market. We didn't know how to run social media. So we had basically went and done a bunch of music just to kind of stay sharpening ourselves. We didn't know how to ad. We didn't know how to run targeted ads. We really didn't. We was still ordering 1,500 copies of hard CDs, which is what I'm going to go on the second leg of the tour with, to try to make some use of them. But between my family, dog, and overcoming my cough syrup addiction, baby, that's where I was from that time period. Now, I was always tipping and doing something musically, but before I could come back out publicly, I felt like I had to get my shit together. And when I did, I come out a little too hot spiritually, and I missed them. So in my mind, if I'm missing people and I'm not getting them, I need to go back to the drawing board and let's try to maybe come up with a little something where we could do a little bit more street music, a little bit more hip music that was in tune with the culture, and sprinkle a little message in there instead of all message, you know. So, and that's where I'm at right now, man. You know, if you listen to my stuff and you know my stuff, I mean, I have got a little message tucked in there amongst all that aggressive and music, baby. There's a message in there for you, hoping that I can light a fire up underneath your ass, man. Because really, that's my only goal, baby, at 42 years old, is letting you know the clock ain't out, bitch. You ain't dead yet. You better get your ass up and go. If you, Michael Jordan's trainer said, if you think, what'd he say? Not verbatim. He said, if you think putting the time in is taxing, if you think that's too much, wait till you get the bill for regret.
Yeah.
Wait till you get the bill for letting it pass you and not having tried, and not having put the energy in, and not having put the time in, and you've gotten too old to be able to do it, and you sitting there saying, dog, I was actually good enough to fucking play ball or own my own company or do music, but I never give it a try because I was so worried about what other people was gonna say. Or
it's too late.
Yeah
At that point. Yeah. Man, that's definitely true for sure. And then, but see, with Boogeyman, like you dropped that in 2018. Yeah. That one was, that to me is where you're starting to kind of come into what you're doing now. Like they're because Boogeyman had stuff on there. Oh yeah. That it seems like you had, but you had taken a few years to get it together. It seemed like, and that one, I want to say the first one that I heard from that one was the Boogeyman track. I think that may have been the first song, video or something I heard from you. Is that when you're at the bonfire? Yeah. Well, that's Pocket Watch. 23 Jump Street was the big song off of I Could Get This Bitch Jumping. We shot that in town, downtown at in Monroe. I got with some local guys and shot a couple of more videos, and at that time I'm really learning the process. Like, damn, I go to the studio, get a joint recorded. I was still in album mode at that time. You know what I've always been in my whole life. You go get 9-10 songs done, you pick the 3 best songs and you shoot them as singles or whatever you did. And found some guys locally that could shoot some videos. We go shoot some videos. 23 Jump Street, it didn't go viral, but it was probably the most viral song that I had ever done up until that time. And I was just finding my groove, and I guess I could say at that point I at least had some data to sit down and say, okay, this is the style of shit they want me to do. And which eventually led to Pocket Watch, John Wayne, 16 Bar Challenge, you know, the stuff that I kind of found the recipe of what people liked the most that I did. And from that project, which I could definitely see that, because you start to see those Brodnax style stuff back on that project. And of course, the Brodnax project that you dropped after you linked up with Adam is that's the one with Pocket Watch. That's the one, the one with, you had Struggle on there, you had Mercules on there. You and Adam had the John Wayne song. And that's when you started to really start to kind of pop up, I feel like, on more people's radars other than just locally. It seemed like, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's my first, like, that's really my introduction to the genre, right? Outside of Louisiana, you know, there's a bunch of people that know my shit, you know, at the house, but that really don't do nothing on a large scale because you're only weighing in with the people that know you locally. So Brodnax, the album, was like really, that's what kind of got me a little wind in my sail, and
and at my age, it was like validation that, yeah, dude, you may have thought your window was shut and your shelf life was over, but you got an opportunity to come in here and do this. So at that point, and y'all can see where my mind was at, if I wanted to do it at the scale that I wanted to do it on, I had to get my own studio. I had to get my own camera. I had to get my own lights. I had to get my own shit, dog. Because unless you got street money or you got daddy's money, baby, there is no way that I was going to be able to put out the amount of music and music videos that I wanted to, having to pay somebody else to do all of it. There was no way. Yeah. So we're going to buy the shit, we're going to teach ourselves how to do it, and we'll drop it whenever we want to. And that's where we at right now.
Yeah. And you've been just pounding out singles, bro. I mean, for the last since that album. Yeah. I mean, I want to say 16 Bar Challenge and Genghis John kind of started that off, and then the ball just kept rolling. It kept rolling, and you're doing what you're doing now. You know, you've been dropping multiple singles. You was doing the remixes and stuff like that. Yeah. And then we're going to kind of jump ahead now to Country Rap Tour. Yep. Okay. Do you want to speak about how that came about? As far as just from your end, as far as like, I guess the opportunity, and then maybe kind of how the first leg went. Yeah. This will be dropping while you're out on tour. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and thank y'all for coming down to have me some content to release while I'm on tour, because it will only add to the momentum. So perfect timing.
Yeah, for sure. No
but Adam had been wanting me to go on tour, and I had turned one down, just thinking that I wasn't going to be able to step away from work and step away from parenting and step away from all that shit. But it really just comes down to jumping, dog. You know, making that choice to go do it. And I mean, the opportunity for Country Rap Tour, I knew I couldn't miss, because we've done all this work and invested all this money into the studio and in the brand and everything. Now it's time to go out and do what I do best, which is one-on-one communication. I can do okay through the camera, I can do okay through the microphone, but if I get to actually meet somebody and sit in front of them and give my energy to them right there in one-on-one in a real time, that's my best. That's where I'm best. Yeah. And I got to witness that. I'm thinking in my head, Country Rap Tour Leg 1, we'll do okay in Florida and in the southern region, maybe Midwest, but when we get up there on the East Coast, these people ain't gonna know who Brodnax is, baby. But to my surprise, and shout out to everybody that support, to my surprise, baby, every time the doors open at 6, 6:30, 7 o'clock, I would have a line slap full of people lined up to get the merch. And I ran my own table, so you know, to my surprise, we get up there in Maine and New Hampshire, and doors open, and I got 40 people in line to buy T-shirts. And it just blew me away. Like, baby, you keep up the process, baby, and trust the process, and you putting out this music on YouTube. You don't know where the subscribers are from. You can go look at the analytics and try to get an idea, baby. But when I went out there and actually stepped foot into these states and cities and seen these people that are the actual subscribers and the followers and the supporters in real life, and they're spending their hard-earned money with me, I was like, dude, this is what I was missing. And it was what Adam told me I was missing. He was like, dude, you go out on the road and you hit every state in this country that you can, and you'll see the impact. You'll see why people stay on the road. You'll see why these guys are so adamant about staying on tours, because it will take your streaming and your views and your relationship with the people, baby. It'll put it on steroids, dude. So, and now we've got the country that I was nervous about the first tour because I didn't know what to expect. The sleeping situation, the living situation, the bathing, just the stuff we take for granted because we get to do it every day in the peace and quiet of our own home. You know, you out there scrambling, trying to find out what you're going to eat, where you're going to bathe, and, you know, just the basic stuff. Yeah. And sleeping on the bus with 10, 12 guys, you know, has got its challenges. But shout out to Adam for supplying us, basically spoiling us the best bus. You know, I mean, we had it a lot better than what we would if I was out here trying to tour on my dime.
Right.
So leg 2, we got better buses, we got better scheduling, better routing. It's just gonna be a better version of number 1. We got new music to release. We're gonna be shooting some videos on the road. We're gonna try to make videos and make music on the road, because then this is just trial and error for me. I go thinking that my responsibility needs to be this performance and merch. You know, when 2 months go by and we hadn't created no music, then we get home and we're dead beat from 42 days on the road, and we take 30 days off to relax and decompress, and the next thing you know, here it is 4 months, we ain't dropped no music. But it also made me aware that the singles may be really good to get quick attention and to get a quick pop, but if you want the big knockout blows, baby, those come with albums. And that's what we're going to step back and work on now. So we're going to put, 10 of our best songs together. And when we get back home, we'll probably be pretty close to getting ready to release a project. So I'll have a brand new project for y'all by 23. And you'll get some new videos from me when I get on the road here on the Country Rap Tour. And most importantly, those of y'all that are watching this live now, baby, you find the city closest to y'all and y'all pull up and come see me, baby.
Sure.
Hell of a lineup. Adam, Demon, me, Dusty, and we have a good time out there, baby. Merch, whatever you want to get hands on, hats, t-shirts, stickers, posters, whatever, we got all that. Come home with a good chunk of money, and me being the type of guy I am reinvested in my camera and my my equipment, and got some stuff done here at the house. So the majority of the money I made on the road, I come back and put it right back into the music shit.
Yeah, that's dope though, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I didn't ask about tour.
Yeah.
So when you come across fans, of course I witnessed this firsthand, people approaching you and saying, I never heard of you before, but you're dope.
Yeah.
Did that give you like a sense of satisfaction, like I've done my part?
Yeah.
I accomplished what I set out to do on stage. I drew them in.
The main comment I would get, of course, there people that already knew it.
Yeah.
But the most common comment that I would get would be, dude, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I didn't know who you was, but you got a fan for life.
Yeah.
You got a fan for life. So, you imagine being at a concert, baby, and rocking along with somebody to a song you never heard of. That's one thing in itself. But I credit that all to the passion and the energy, baby. If you giving that amount of energy off, they gotta receive it, baby. They can't run from it.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to do while we was out there, baby, is put 110 into those performances and make sure those people felt my presence. And to my surprise, the people would come up at the end of the night, and that was the most common comment, baby. We didn't know who you was, man. We weren't really sure what to think. But you got a fan for life now. So I would wake up in the morning and see this big long list of new followers, this big long list of new comments, and people reaching out, and boom, boom, boom. I got people pulling up to me with OG tattoos at the show. For the people that knew who I was and already experienced my music through YouTube or streaming or the internet or wherever they found it, OG tattoos, people getting my little like maybe a bar of mine tattooed on them, a saying of mine tattooed on them. Some got my name tattooed on them, dog. Like, it was just, man, like, that really inspired me to want to come home and keep doing what we was doing, maybe even at a higher level, But the tour, by being the road, was an experience. I am so glad that I decided to step away from work and my responsibilities and go do it, because I think it's going to open up a brand new opportunity for me.
Yeah, for sure, man. And y'all are gonna kill this next leg of the tour. For
Absolutely.
Sure. And hell yeah.
How about how, and when they went to the different cities, Dusty always knew his way around
Yeah, that is
so
a funny
familiar.
character. But you know, there's some people. It ain't in me. But I enjoy being around people that is. Dusty's goal is to make people laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he's constantly cutting up and
Oh,
trying
for
to.
sure.
Yeah.
Which is dope because out of the dynamic
We
of y'all
needed
four,
that.
Yeah. It's like it's dope that he's there to do that. Cause y'all, it's not that y'all don't have sense, cause y'all all do, but like y'all are like
Yeah, so
you
focused.
Demon and Adam, and then he's kind of like, it's dope. It works well. I would think.
Cause mine, Demon, and Adam's personalities are all kind of similar just because of our age, you know, and you know, when you're in your late 20s and early 30s, you know, that's what you do is cut up, you know. But being able to talk shit and cap with each other, that was super fun, and Dusty brought that out of us.
So like going back to from yesterday to today, this is obviously separate, but we could just kind of follow up with that. Like speaking about the country rap tour, that's kind of where we ended off yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
What as far as like the experience itself, you want to talk about that and like maybe some of the cities? I know you mentioned it yesterday about how up on the East Coast you didn't think people would know about you or take to you as well, and of course it was the opposite of that.
Yeah.
What were some of the biggest, I guess, or the craziest turnouts that y'all had on that first leg?
So for whatever reason, this Laconia, New Hampshire,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it down here. So cool little story. My first apartment was 603. My sister went and got an apartment that she didn't stay in, and the lease was, you know, you just don't come in and say, well, I've changed my mind, you know. So the lease is like 12 months.
Yeah.
And I had just quit school, so the rule was if you gonna quit school, you gonna get your GED. You can stay here while you're getting your GED, but once you get your GED, baby, you got to get you a job and start living your own plan, paying your own bills. You gonna act like a grown up. You gonna live like one.
Yeah.
So my sister calls and says, "Hey, I got this apartment over at Shangri-La. If you want to come pick it up, you take up the notes on it and you can have it." And which at the time, 16 years old, that was the only way I was going to get something.
Oh, yeah,
was
sure.
If somebody had signed for me. So it's this 603, which ended up being our little crew. You know, everybody that come over there, lived there, a bunch of guys that was either just out of school or just stopped going to school. And music was kind of our main focus right at the time, so that's what we was doing most of the time over there. So anyway, we pull up in Laconia, New Hampshire. I got 603 on me, 2 or 3 little spots, tattoos. And we pull up and I see 603, live free or die, I think is their little motto.
Mm-hmm.
Something that might be on their license plates. And I saw some t-shirts, and this girl whips around and she says, y'all need transportation for today, I'll be glad to help y'all. And it's right on Lake, it's a funny little name, but they shot, Bill Murray shot a movie.
Oh, Winnipesaukee.
Yeah, Winnipesaukee.
Yeah.
They shot a movie.
Oh, What About Bob? Yeah.
Yeah, What About Bob?
Yeah.
So we go down to the lake and swim in the lake. It was too cold to be swimming, but we did it anyway. And we walk up and this girl says, "Hey, my girlfriend has got a t-shirt deal. Do y'all want these shirts?" I said, "Yeah, you got to get me one with that 603 on there." So I got a black shirt with the white 603 and something else. So I get up on stage and tell this sold out show. Get up on stage and tell the story about my apartment and how much that I said, this is my first time in New Hampshire, the 603, but I've been ripping this number my whole life. And boy, the people just got a kick out of that, dog, you know.
Yeah.
Being that I had it tattooed on me and I pulled that out and told that little story, the same little story that I told to y'all. But it's a number that we repped for so long, and then it ended up being one of my favorite places just because of how beautiful it was, dude. I mean, that lake and then the strip, it's like all these old arcades, dog, like all the games we grew up playing, Tecmo Bowl, Mortal Kombat, like the big original, they got arcades all up and down this it's like a little mini tourist city.
Yeah.
But I had never heard of it. Never
Yeah.
heard of it. But we get in there and dude, we had a hell of a time in that little town. I think that's one of Adam's favorite spots to go.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, like the little small towns that you ain't never heard of come show up big time, dog. Like, I'll definitely be going back to Laconia, New Hampshire.
Yeah, and see, when you looked at the dates for the first leg,
Yep.
you saw that date, and that's probably one you looked at and didn't think anything about as to what it ended up being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is dope. And then I remember you did say something else about one of the cities felt like here.
Detroit.
It was Detroit. Okay,
Yeah.
so you said it felt like home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get out, and this isn't glorifying how, Monroe's in bad shape, baby. We don't have a thriving economy here. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, so I step off the bus in Detroit, and like the first thing in the morning, I'd like to get me some coffee and just kind of get woke up. Mm-hmm. Get away from everybody and just take a little walk around wherever we was at. I get out, I smell like foul smell in the air. I'm walking around the building, everything is for rent. We in like a commercial district. And just reminded me of Monroe, the smell, trash cans all filled up, but the people there, for whatever reason, these low economy places, the people is just so spirited, and it's my first time in Detroit, so we called Swano and let him know that we was gonna be in town.
Swano, I met him through Adam. He's
super dope dude.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, y'all probably be hearing not too long from now. We got some works. We fixing to start working with Swano a little bit more.
Hell yeah, I'm supposed to be going up to Detroit at some point and doing an interview with him. Me and him have been talking.
Yeah, we should definitely follow through with that. Super cool dude, super entertaining dude too, and a hell of a rapper.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
He reminded us of Warren.
Yeah, his personality.
Yeah.
As soon as I met him, I was like, bro.
Yeah.
He's got that same. Yeah. As soon as we met him,
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
So we get in this building, and it doesn't look like there's no way. They say we got like 750 or something. And dude, you see this little place, and I started getting kind of anxious just because where they got us, these people start piling up in this little room, and there's really no room. There's no room to move around at all. Most of the time, somewhere at the night, if we wanted to slip out, they had a little spot that you could slip out of. This was like, once them people got packed up in there, baby, we was in there.
Like the Kentucky spot we was at? With
Yeah.
Bowling Green.
But anyway, Detroit just reminded me so much of home just because of the economy and the way that it looked, but the people were so spirited. It's just like it's something, man. And I kind of like had this little special bond with Detroit just because of all the interactions that I had with the people that was there. There's a cool little story. I don't know if y'all have ever heard this. My first time seeing it or experiencing it ever, I thought the dude had painting on his face. I felt embarrassed after I did what I did. So this dude comes up, and he's got his face is silver. I'm going to send you the picture so maybe you can flash it up there.
Yeah.
This dude comes up, and he's got a silver face, and the rest of his body's normal. I'm thinking he's done painted his face for the show or something, so I touch his face, and the dude laughs at me. He said, "That don't come off, baby." I said, "Bro, what you mean that don't come off?" His face was silver, baby. He said, "I got a high amount of metal or iron in my blood, and it turns my face silver."
Oh, so that wasn't like a tat or nothing.
And here I am.
Oh man.
I'm about a few shots deep. Dusty done run and got us some drinks. I'm trying to be funny, and
the one time that you would do something like that, and was he like offended or no? He was.
Nah, he
cool.
laughed because we had been sitting there chopping it up. He stood at the table, and we was talking for several minutes, and he went and got some change from the ATM, come back, and I guess the lights was on him or something. But anyway, I was like, dude, bro, I apologize, homie. I didn't know you had like this condition. He said, well, it don't affect me physically, but it does turn my face silver.
Was it like if it was
Bro, if you'd have seen it,
like
you'd have
Raider silver? Like if you went to like a Raiders
bro,
game
it looked like he painted his face.
I've never even heard of that before.
Looked like he painted his face. And if somebody knows, comment it. But he's got high levels of iron or high levels of metal or something in his blood that does this to his face. I ain't never heard of that or seen it in my life.
I would have probably done the same thing, you know, like, especially if you had already built a rapport with him and y'all were shooting.
Yeah, we was cutting up.
Yeah.
I wasn't just doing this to a
Well,
stranger.
no, right.
The dude was lit. I was lit.
Yeah.
You know, it was, you know.
How many Southern mamas, like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, do the whole
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably where I got that from.
Yeah. Well, and too, some other highlights of the, I guess, the first leg of the tour. Y'all got to go to the official Michelin S store, which I'm sure was fire. Being somebody that you love Michelin S, you and Adam, just like I do, and then all y'all do.
Yeah.
So that was cool. That
was the best day off, baby.
Yeah, it's what it seemed like. I mean, I was following y'all's stories and stuff. But that seemed really dope because that's the only one in the U.S.
Yeah, and that was, to my surprise, we sitting here trying to find Michelin Nest locations where we can go out and get these authentic jerseys because we was wanting to go somewhere that just didn't have the standard Grant Hill, Scottie Pippen, you know.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia, PA, the only official, and we happened to be off that day. So anytime we was off, Dusty would kind of schedule us something to do. And this dude lives and dies by Yelp. So he would locate the restaurants, never picked a dud. Never picked a dud restaurant.
Every
never
time.
picked a dud coffee. Never picked a dud location to do nothing. This dude would say, all right, I got a so-and-so, so-and-so. And it was really the only thing we had told Dusty we wanted to do. Dusty kind of like took the responsibility of finding us stuff to do on our off days, and he'd nail it, dude.
That's cool, man.
But so we go inside, and if you into that kind of stuff, of course, for me, you know, sports and music are so close together.
Same here.
You know, especially for my passion, you name it, baby. I'm talking about not the top 2 or 3 guys from each team, the top 6 or 7 guys from each team.
That's how I am, bro.
And they've got home, away, they've got colorways you ain't never seen before. They've got the Just Don shorts, all the teams. They've got the jackets, they've got the warm-ups, they've got the button-ups, you name it, bro. I bet we stayed in there for 2.5, 3 hours just.
Yeah, I would have been a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
That's dope. What'd you end up getting out of there?
I got the original, the royal blue with the yellow Mariners kid, Ken Griffey.
Oh, dope.
I got the Ricky Henderson green with the yellow A.
Yeah.
And I like for whatever reason, I like the batting practice. I like the pullovers.
They're not as heavy.
Yeah.
Like those baseball jerseys get heavy.
Well, and they're not breathable.
Yeah.
And I noticed when I was up on stage, not only do the jerseys take such a good picture, like you can get a good outfit on, but for whatever reason, dog, when I started seeing the pictures come back, when I had a jersey and outfit on, it was just like, boom.
Yeah. Adam picked up that bird. He got that bird, one of them birds.
It just like makes the picture, dog.
Dude, for
you
sure.
know, it's like, so I said, man, that's what I'm finna do, because you get off stage in a t-shirt, something that's not mesh and breathable, baby, you are soaked to the bone.
Yeah.
Because no matter what weather it is outside, you get on stage and you put all them electronics and all that gear in there, and then you put 600 people in there breathing and hollering and hooting, baby, it's gonna get hot.
And your energy.
Yeah.
Y'all's like all of y'all, like the energy of you
on
stage for 20, 30 minutes, you know.
Yeah. And you know, I'm gonna increase my body temperature right off the bat just because of how much energy I'm trying to produce.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get soaked in the cold. It's just something that happens when I get in that booth and when I get on that stage, baby. My body temperature. Adam told y'all that little story.
Yeah.
It's just, it don't matter if we's at Fort Knox. It don't matter if we in here. It don't matter where we at, baby. I close that booth door and they ain't, even if there's air circulating in there, I am gonna steam that booth up.
You was like it when you was cutting Vanilla Gorilla.
Yeah.
When we were here last year. That's
Yeah.
what you was cutting when we were here, remember?
Yeah.
Same way.
Yeah.
That's dope, dude. Yeah, that's cool that y'all are able to do that kind of stuff on your days off because you didn't get many of them.
Nah.
You had one here, maybe one a week sometimes, and but it was dope.
We did 12, and then you go back. We did 12 dates in a row without a break.
Golly.
Yeah.
How's it? Is it set up at all like that on this next leg?
We got more days off.
That's good.
We got more days off.
Is it 40 shows?
Well, for whatever reason, we've got, I think, more shows this go round, but it's packed into the same. So, you know, we left last time. We were gone 40 days. I think we're gone 40 days this go round, maybe 42 days this go round, but we've got like 36 shows. So amongst those 42 days, I think we might have 6 or 7 days off, which is, you would rather be working.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it ain't nice to have a day off, but when you're out there away from the house, the more you can stay busy, the faster the days click off.
And plus, too, when you're out there, when you're off, you're not making money either.
Right.
And you're away from your family.
Yeah.
It's cool to have it like you said, but if you're going to be out here away from the fam, you might as well be making bread, you know what I'm saying, to bring back home while you're out there. So that makes sense. But it's cool to have those days like that to where you can go do some shit like that because that kind of, it's just something cool to be able to do in general.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Are there any, other than, so we can talk about this next leg.
Okay.
Right? New Orleans. There's a New Orleans show.
Yes, sir. And if this drops before then, I am expecting anybody within the local Monroe, West Monroe, anybody that has supported what I'm doing or followed what I'm doing, baby, I'm expecting y'all to come to New Orleans or Jackson. I ain't asking you, baby. I'm expecting y'all to come to New Orleans or Jackson because I tell you what they saying. They saying that people don't book in Louisiana because we don't show up to the shows. They saying that they don't book in Texas because Texas don't show up to the shows. They saying they don't book in Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, and Georgia because they don't show up to the shows, baby. Y'all got to prove them wrong. Those are huge markets. Georgia, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi don't show up to the shows, baby. Y'all got to get that off y'all's name.
And that's crazy that because y'all don't have a Georgia day, do you? And that's Demon's home state.
Yeah, baby.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's. I'm gonna make it. How far is New Orleans from here?
4 hours.
4 hours south.
Yep.
Okay.
Jackson, Mississippi is 2.5 hours from where we sit.
Like where I'm. That's probably the one that we'll try to make is
Yep.
is the Jackson one.
Yep.
Because we passed Jackson coming here.
And we don't have any Tennessees, do we?
No.
I'm thinking they may say the same thing, and I may be speaking out. And if I am, y'all correct me. I'm thinking they may say that, you know, Tennessee is not a huge turnout. So we can't be a southern-based genre and not have the southern states show up for our concerts, baby. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. We'll make sure that we drop this because those shows are towards the end of October of this month, correct?
Yeah.
We'll drop this full interview like before that, but then we'll clip it out like throughout the month.
Word up.
But what I was getting to on this, other than the New Orleans, are there any dates that you saw when you got the official dates back, besides your hometown stuff that you saw and were like you extra hype for? Are there certain ones that you're interested in as far as like what maybe the West Coast stuff? Is that something that you're kind of?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm super pumped up that we're getting to go to LA. I'm super pumped up that we're getting to go to Montana. You know, Wyoming, baby. And if y'all don't know, I mean, that's some of the most beautiful landscape we have in the United States. I mean, this is like untouched for a country dude like me. Like, that's some of the most untouched natural landscape that we have left. So Montana, Wyoming, we at Vegas on I think maybe 11/11. Anyway, we in Las Vegas. We in Los Angeles. You know, we up and down that California coastline. I can't call them out to you, but just to say that we get to take a country rap genre and take it to California, and they say Demon Jones has got it popping on the West Coast, baby. They say that is his biggest market, and that was surprising as hell to me.
Wow, I didn't. Yeah, that's crazy.
Say Demon Jones's biggest market is the West Coast. He can go over there on any given day and pack out a show.
Yeah, because on the West Coast, like I got you on 11H, y'all got West Hollywood, and then the 12th y'all got Ramona, California. You got Fresno the next day, but in between that, you're looking at like Colorado, Wyoming, Arizona,
Colorado,
Oregon, Idaho, Utah. So and Nebraska's like your final one.
Yeah.
So like another thing probably cool for you too, a lot of these places are these places you've never even been to in general, correct? Have you?
Yeah, and I got something to prove.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got something to prove, and that's my attitude going anywhere.
Right.
As far as not personally, musically.
Yeah.
You know, because if I hadn't been there before, and I'm fixing to get to leave my stain on this place, baby, I got one shot to do that. I got 30 minutes to do that on stage, and then when I get off is when I make my biggest impression.
Yeah.
So if you plan on coming to the shows, baby, if you come buy a shirt or a hat from my table, baby, I'm the dude that's going to sell it to you, sign it for you, hand it, take your money. I work my table because I'm not too bougie, baby. I'm not saying that the other guys are, because if Adam came off stage and worked his booth, baby, it would shut the shit down, baby. Sure. So at some point, it's not because the artists don't want to. It's because out of respect for Dusty, me, and Demon's table, he don't want to come out there and be an interruption or a disruption. He don't want to disrupt the flow.
It'd be like Jelly coming out and selling merch at his own show.
It shut the whole. Anybody that was set up to sell by him, they would do nothing.
Yeah. Because
everybody would leave your line and go get in what Jelly's line waiting on him. Shout out Jelly.
No, for sure. Shout out Jelly. For sure.
Dude, and what a cool, like, and I hate to be so musically, you know, this interview go that way, but I mean, that's what we do. So it's obviously going to be the majority of what we talk about. I think for a white guy that does hip-hop music, you have the blueprint from not only Yella, Jelly, Church. You have the blueprint now to when you want to exceed whatever you've hit, like you feel like you've plateaued.
Yeah.
Baby, there's another level of soul or rock and roll or country or whatever that if you didn't fulfill what you thought your numbers were going to be in hip-hop, there's the blueprint for you right there.
Yeah.
There's the blueprint for you right there, baby. And now this dude is going and selling out arenas, dog. Like, come on, man.
What's crazy, when we were driving here to you yesterday, we stopped to get gas at a random Exxon in Como, Mississippi. Me and Mel are in there looking at the rap snacks on the wall, getting drinks. Country radio's playing. All of a sudden, Son of a Sinner comes on.
Man.
In Como, Mississippi. Now, I know all the stuff Jelly's got going on, but I've never been somewhere and his song come on. I see people on his stories posting it on the radio.
But personally.
But seeing it, in there was nothing else on this exit, bro. And we were just getting snacks and getting gas and coming back towards you. Yeah, and they come on. I was like, bro, I had to post it on my story. I was like, man, this is crazy. And then he's going to be back at the Opry for the third time this month, for the third time in a year's time.
October 26th.
Yeah, the 26th. So, and off camera, I'm going to play you one of his singles.
Yeah.
Bro, it's a smash. But shout out Jelly, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just dope to see, man. It's dope to see what all he's doing. Is that something this is something maybe I could talk to you about.
Okay.
Do you see yourself doing stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's like, because you've spoke about it, and I know that's something that you love too, just like Adam does or Jelly does or whoever else is Is that something you could see yourself doing in the future? Stuff similar to
Oh
that
yeah,
style?
see, and to be honest with you, man, I had already transitioned. So like, my personality, if I feel like I have, and not to, pull myself and say I've mastered rap music, but when something stops becoming a challenge to you,
Yep.
you want to go create a new. My thing was, let's go create a new sound. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was going to be. But when your idols are CeeLo Green and Andre 3000, you obviously are drawn to music other than rapping.
Yeah.
What I am doing right now is best for me financially in a streaming standpoint and a view standpoint is people like when I do an aggressive flow over an aggressive style beat.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my career, I got out of my own way and said, okay, if this is the style that they like me to do, this is what I'm going to give them.
Yeah.
And I am doing it more for the consumer. When I was younger, the only person I was trying to please was myself.
Yeah.
But I love to sing, dog.
Well, see, and I'm glad you said that because if you go back to your early projects that we spoke on earlier in the interview,
Yeah.
there's a lot of soul in those songs, bro.
Yeah.
Like, one of the songs is it's towards the newer stuff. They said it ain't gonna be easy.
Yeah.
You're harmonizing and singing and stuff on a lot of those records.
Oh yeah.
And this was stuff dating back almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I definitely see what you're talking about now because you were doing that before, and now you've I get that totally. But I'm glad that you spoke on that because there's going to be a whole other lane for you, dog.
Oh yeah.
And you know that it's something you can do, it's something that you're passionate about. So like just knowing that that's on down a few exits or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That's dope. It's similar, kind of like with what Adam's doing right now.
Yeah.
Like he's got the album dropping.
At some point,
yeah.
you going to have to transition out of rap music. At some point. Unfortunately, hip-hop has always been for the younger audience. I've been fortunate, and anybody else in this lane has been fortunate, baby, that we get to do it into our 40s, which you don't see that happening a lot anywhere else. So we've got our genre and our fans. Shout out to the country rap genre fans for letting us, allowing us to go. But at some point, the other genres, rock and roll, soul music, those are timeless genres. You don't have to be a certain age or a certain creed or color. You can be, 45, 47 years old, and if the music's hot, so it's good to know. And without the guys coming before us, seeing them transition into that other music, so you rap as long as you can do it, baby. And then when that time and that shelf life and that window is closed, if you got it in you and you can sing and do some other style of music, baby, you can extend your career another 5-10 years just by not being hard-headed and knowing that it's time to transition into that other,
See, what you were saying about that again. When me and Jelly, I went to a video shoot for a song he did called Role Model. It's not even out yet. He shot the video last May. It was right after Warren passed, and he wanted me. He's like, come hang out with me, man. So we went up there to the video shoot. He let me do behind the scenes. And this is a straight like rock song talking about him doing drugs and partying and stuff. Him and Co Wetzel are doing it. He comes off set. He said, Chad, I know this is a different song. He said, I can't do Welcome to the Trap House, which was one of his biggest rap records.
Yeah.
He said, I can't do that when I'm 50.
Yeah.
I can do Save Me. I can do stuff like this when I'm 50, 60 years old, God willing. Because, like you said, the shelf life is...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that I just said that. I've mentioned that before, but that's just something else to relate to what you were just saying.
You gotta know you gotta know at some point, baby. People would have probably liked to seen me either stop doing it or transition out of it already. But I'm so passionate about it and dedicated such a huge portion of my life to it, baby. I have at least got to swing for the fence. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And especially with having a buzz and some momentum, I'd be a fool. I'd be a fool to not see where we could take it.
Yeah. I'm glad that you spoke about that because another thing too, man, being in the genre that you're in, and I know that people put you in the country rap genre, but you're
right on.
You know what I'm saying? That's just what people do. But it's just because of the style.
Yeah.
But like country rap fans, that's not far removed from Southern rock fans or country music fans.
Yeah.
So like, the transition is a transition, but like it's not an extreme switch.
Nope.
For the fans, because
They're probably already tuned
exactly.
into that stuff.
Yeah, they're probably listening to Skinner and
Yeah.
and Zeppelin and whoever. Like, in addition, and Garth Brooks, but then they're gonna turn around and listen to Brodnax, Jelly, Adam,
Right.
Dusty. So that's dope that you're being able that's something people can look forward to, including you. I'm sure you're looking forward to doing
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff too. Dream collabs. What about that?
Oh man.
If you just had to throw, I'm assuming CeeLo or
CeeLo,
Andre.
Andre 3000,
Yeah.
Scarface,
yeah,
Freddie Gibbs. I'm gonna get on something with Freddie Gibbs.
you and Freddie Gibbs, bro. That's gonna hit different.
Lambo, I'm gonna get in touch with his guy Lambo,
Yeah,
and we gonna plug up a Freddie Gibbs.
yeah.
I gotta get something in with Jelly. I'd like to get something in with Yella.
That'd be fire too.
Anybody personally, that I feel like I rap on a high level. Anybody that I feel like I could challenge myself and make me step it up a little bit,
Yeah.
or make them step it up a little bit. Those are my favorite. It's like when you secretly competing on who's gonna have the best verse. Those are the kind of collaborations that I'd like to do. But dude, there's so many other people outside of my genre that I would love to do stuff with too. So. But when that time the transition comes, man, I'm sure we'll start looking at that. But yeah, what I say? I'd love to try to dig up a Pimp sample and at least get his voice on something of mine.
For sure.
I don't know how I would go about that or what to do, but a Pimp sample, a DJ Paul beat with a 3/6 sample on it.
I don't see that being that far
Yeah,
fetched of a situation to do, bro.
yeah, yep.
'Cause they're
Especially
he works with people that are right.
Yeah.
Around, you know what I mean?
we close to him now, and now y'all
Exactly.
gotten close to him.
Yeah.
So it was stuff that
I'd love
would.
to hear you and Pat, bro.
Yeah, man.
You
Yeah.
and Pat could do something.
Yeah, I grew up listening to jamming. Pat was our favorite out of the whole mafia. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be fine. We can talk about this. We spoke about this off camera before, but do you wish it could be a situation to where people, other artists in the genre, and just rapping, I don't want to say country, I mean rapping genre, could where it could be competitive and it not feel like it's like malicious, like as far as being the best on the song? Remember we've talked about that?
Everybody thinks that, Chad.
Yeah.
It's just something that don't get spoken about because it's like not PC or something. But baby, I can promise you, if you rap and you are going to do a collaboration project with other rappers, you are hoping and you are trying to have the hardest verse on that bitch.
course,
I
yeah.
don't know why, baby, we all think this. Why don't we get together and sharpen? It's like Adam said, baby, if you ain't got somebody you can sharpen yourself up against, and that's really all that's for, baby, is that I know when I come around you and I know when I get on a record with you, bless you, I have got to take my shit to the next level, baby. I have got to take my shit to the next level. And I speak on this too. It shouldn't be that hard to touch other artists, especially not in this little, baby, we're considered a subgenre.
Yeah.
If I got my little flashlight pointed up at the sky, baby, you might miss it. But if all 20 of y'all come get with me and we aim that bitch up, baby, there ain't no way they can look that over.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of the guys have such a bright light, they don't need me to come stand with mine. But just think on a national level, if you got the hardest dogs out of every litter, I got the hardest dog out of every litter, and we come and get on a, maybe not a project, maybe not an EP, maybe we just do a few songs together. But with in mind that I'm trying to take the crown for the best, because everybody knows I've been vocal about it. I'm coming for the crown, baby.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. And that really is my personality when I'm not on the mic. But when I'm on the mic, I feel like, baby, if you feel that way, you better go ahead and claim that. You better go ahead and claim that. You know, and I know a lot of guys feel like that, but don't feel like they can claim it. I'm coming for the crown, baby, for this white boy rap shit, baby. And a lot of people might get rubbed the wrong way by that being said, man. But you know deep down in your heart, baby, you feel the same way. You just, it's some politically correct bullshit that keeps you from saying it. Or you don't want to come off like that guy when, baby, you know that's how you think. To play sports or to do music in your heart, you have got to think you the baddest. That's the only way you make it in this field we in.
Yeah, especially like when you play, if you play a pickup game against somebody, you're trying to win.
Yeah, man.
You're not playing a pickup game with somebody and then being like, well, I mean, if I win, it's okay, but if not, you're trying to be better than the person you're playing against. So like, it's not y'all hate each other. It could be your brother, your best friend, your girlfriend, whoever you're playing against. But like, at that moment in time, for that a lot like that block of time, I'm gonna be better than you.
Yeah, man.
It don't mean I don't like you. We still, but that's just, I don't know why the music can't be, because there's been multiple times, and I know that you've probably done the same thing where you collab with somebody, you hear a verse from them, and you're like, I may need to go back and touch something up. I underestimated this situation. You know what I mean? So like,
but then we don't speak on it. Publicly.
Yeah.
Like it's like this unspoken, and it's weird that it's unspoken because you do music too, baby. You know that's the way you feel when you go into a collab situation.
Yeah.
Especially if you go in there with a bulldog, baby. You like, ooh, you know, I know what this, and that's why I love doing collabs, baby, because it brings my best verses. It brings some of the best stuff I've ever done. I'm competing against myself and the top tier MCs in my mind when I'm doing solo projects, baby. But when I know there gonna be other men on it, it brings that next level out of me, just because we're competitive human beings, baby. All of us.
Y'all probably felt that way on Gumbo.
Yeah, man. Everybody,
Yeah.
baby, and now that those are my brothers.
Yeah.
And everybody would sit down and tell you the same thing, baby. I was coming for the hardest verse on that project, and if you, depending on who you caught, every one of them may think that they had the hardest verse on the project.
Yeah.
You know, but and when we're done with that, we go back to our natural dynamic. We go back to our normal personalities. I'm not trying to out-talk you and outshine you and outdoing you when we just sitting around chilling.
Yeah.
You know, and that would probably be weird if you took that competitive edge outside the booth and tried to dominate every situation.
Yeah, then
you were
it gets
in.
awkward. That's definitely weird. Yeah.
Yeah. But when we doing music, baby, everybody knows it. Everybody thinks it. But then for some weird reason, baby, it's like unspoken.
You think people just can't separate it, or just it's something in their own heads that they just?
I don't know. Maybe if you do that, baby, you've got to pick a winner. There's got to be a winner, and there maybe could be only one winner, and maybe people don't want to admit that they didn't get it on that one.
Yeah,
you know.
Them,
Yeah.
Which is it's just kind of crazy, because it's like you want to be the best and you want to win every one, but if you don't, it doesn't mean that you're. It's just good for the final product of the situation.
And if you don't, if I don't, whatever comes behind that one is gonna be a mother humper, dog.
Yeah.
If somebody does get me, baby, you have no idea what you just did.
Yeah.
I am going to take that loss home with me, and I am going to rub it all over myself, baby, and I'm going to sit with it. So when I come up out of that next verse that I write, it's going to be there, because I'm going to take that loss, baby. But that's what I do with losses. But this world that we in now, baby, everybody's got a trophy. Everybody gets a prize for showing up. And I think really what they're trying to do is just take that philosophy and apply it to every aspect of life, so you don't see a bunch of misogynistic men saying, I'm the king no more, because they don't want to see that, baby. But you got to have it.
Yeah.
You got to have it, baby. What else would you shoot for?
Yeah.
What else would you shoot for? Michael Jordan don't want to be the greatest ball player. LeBron James don't want to be the greatest. And now we don't even want to claim it because the way people will take it. I don't even want to claim to want to be the greatest, or I bet not dare claim to be the greatest because it may rub some people the wrong way.
It's so wild. It's such a wild ideology, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, 10 years, it's been like that, like in the last 5 years for sure. But it's crazy when you break it down like that, because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Like, which is just so weird. They just want everybody to not. It's like they just want to eliminate competition altogether because.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. It's weird.
They want everybody to this equal shit when baby there ain't no such thing.
No.
We are all born, but are you going to sacrifice and do what it takes to become that guy or become that woman or become that teenager or that kid? Are you going to put in the time? Are you going to sacrifice? See, because everybody wants to say that there's this balance and there's this I used to always talk about trying to have this perfect harmony and balance when really I was fooling myself. If you want to become great at something, baby, you have to become obsessive. You're not going to be able to spend as much time with your babies. You're not going to be able to spend as much time with your wife. You're not going to be able to spend as much time at work. You're not going to be able to spend all this balanced time with everybody because you're going to be so laser focused at achieving that goal that it's going to have to occupy most of your time. Conor McGregor said something one time. He said, dog, on my path to becoming the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, somewhere along the way I lost myself. I lost a piece of myself because I had to become so obsessed with becoming the greatest that I had to sacrifice almost everything else in my life to get here, you know. And
Look where he's at.
So with that being said, you see the David Goggins and the Joe Rogans and you know, there's several people out there that preach this stuff, and a lot of people love them, but there's a lot of people that want them blacked. They want them blackballed and canceled. You want to shoot that shot?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Boom. It's a celebration. I love you, dog.
Love you too, baby. Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's the old man. I always got the little hot profile. Come on in here, Toe. What's up, baby? We just took a little break.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's a really good one, bud.
Yeah, you got to send me that.
See,
Secretly.
Yeah.
Secretly.
He's not like right. He's not like.
Nah, I told him I would rather him not do it, you know, just because of how dangerous it's become.
Yeah.
And I know, like, he can sing along, tit for tat, double time, whatever. If he likes something, like, he can rip it. Bladen can too. But I told him, I said, baby, I want y'all to excel in education, and I want y'all to excel in sports. You know, maybe get y'all a free ride to college and get extra education. Not that you need college, but it's the networking and the people that y'all will meet while you're there.
Yeah.
You know, and just trying to, like I told y'all yesterday, trying to get them to realize the game of life and that it does matter who you meet and it does matter who you know. And if you go to LSU, baby, and all the lawyers and all the doctors and all the people that you're in class with, you'll have those relationships for the rest of your life, baby.
Yeah.
The rest of your life. And these people are going to be successful people, baby. You know, and when I was younger, I would say, as soon as you get done with high school, go find whatever it is that you're passionate about, start doing it, and fund that dream with a job that you can stand going and doing every day.
Yeah.
Don't go sign up for some 9-to-5 bullshit. That's okay to do if it's funding your detailed business. If it's funding your art painting gallery. As long as what you're doing is funding what you really want to do, that's what I used to tell the kids. But now, it's just so crazy how my concept and thinking has changed. I told them not to even worry about college. Let's get through high school, and I'm gonna show y'all how to watch people and observe people and their body language and what they say around you, and you can take what you see and use that basically again. Well, I know that sounds crazy, but that's what we do, baby.
Yeah.
That's what we do. You observe people and find what makes them tick, and you use that to further y'all's business or whatever together. It's just really, it's kind of almost like admitting you're the best rapper.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those unspoken things where we can't say, man, I'm kind of observing your flaws and I'm observing your strengths, and I'm taking note of this stuff so I can know how to better get along with you and communicate with you, or if I need to go to war with you.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, if you're not thinking like that, baby, I don't know. It may be where I'm from and the situation in the street coming. I'm sure a lot of it.
No, that's honestly, bro. Go ahead. That's honesty, though. That's real.
I'm sure the street life, which I didn't have to put myself in. My family provided me a good lead. I went in search of it because of how in love with the culture of rap I was. I wanted to try to get as close to it as I could. More does that bring you? That brings you to the hood.
Yeah, that's what got you in that.
Yeah, I wasn't born in the hood, baby.
Were you always able to read people?
Yeah.
Wait, is that something you? Because some people, I think, just have that.
Yeah.
Ability.
Yeah.
And some people learn it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Was that something you've always been cognizant of, as far as like?
Yeah, I think because of it, because I was made aware of it. Like I told you, my stepdad saw that I wasn't gonna be the sharpest tool in class, and he said, "But you know what you do excel at, baby, is people. You just keep observing people. You keep watching people, baby. You specialize in people, and if you can do that, you'll be successful wherever you go, because you'll know people and their ups and downs and whatever." But yeah, I guess I could say that it was something naturally in me that I just kind of recognized, and then being in the situations that I was in that could have caused me harm or could have been a tragedy or something, you had to be hyper focused on what was going on around you. And any guy that was in them street scenarios, you take him out of that and put him in a business world, and he is gonna fucking thrive.
Yep.
Because we have got to pay attention to every little conversation going on across the room. You see a guy looking at you a couple of times, and then he goes and whispers at somebody. I automatically think, I may be assuming wrong, but I'm planning for whatever that conversation. These guys keep on looking over this way, and then they whispering at each other, and then they both look back here. Boom, I done caught y'all up to something, you know? And you take yourself out of that scenario where there's not danger there, and you take that ability to observe, and you put that in a business setting, baby, you gon' woo.
Yeah.
That's why I really cheer for guys that have come from the struggle or have come from addiction. Bro, you take a guy that has overcome addiction and you put him in any setting, baby, he's already faced the biggest battle he is ever gonna face in his life, and he's already won that.
Yep.
You take a dude that has beat addiction and put him in the sales field, or you put him in the business world, baby, he's gonna kill it. So to anybody out there, which a lot of people is, and a lot of people don't like to raise their hand and say, hey, I'd like to admit I got an addiction or I'm struggling with something, which if you left it up to me, I'd say 9 out of 10 of us do.
For sure, it's just a matter of what is your advice.
Yeah.
You know?
If you do make it out of it, and when you do make it out of it, baby, I can assure you life after that is going to be better than you ever could imagine it, because you've already overcome the hardest shit you ever going to face.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's real, because like staring the devil right in his face during all that, and having the strength to say, not no more.
Yeah. You wouldn't until the last time, baby.
Yeah. Going back to what we talked about last night with yours, with the drink and stuff, once you was able to, you checked in and you did the treatment or whatever.
Yep.
Was that ever something that you, like, I won't say relapse, but like.
Oh yeah, fell off 100 times.
You did?
Yep.
And then finally it was just one of those things where it came to a point where you was like, it's.
My babies.
Yeah.
My babies. And I know a lot of people say that. It's like cliche, boy, my son saved my life. My Johnny saved my life, dog. He come out and I seen my baby pictures and him like right up there. I was like, dude, the Lord has given me another chance to reproduce myself. I mean, he is me, bro. He is me. And then, not to get all sappy, but knowing that he wasn't going to excel in schoolwork. Knowing that he was going to, and it's not that he can't, baby. It's like, it's not enough challenge. The classroom setting was not enough challenge. But anyway, baby, not to get off on a whole nother tangent, but yeah, my kids coming into the world and me and knowing that I was there, they were my responsibility, and I had to lead by example because I didn't know nothing else to do. I didn't know what to tell them, and there's no handbook showing you how to raise babies. I just knew then that. Like my dad would come, my stepdad Mike, and I call him my dad, Mike Phillips, shout out Mike Phillips, would come home at the end of the year and he would have this perfect attendance deal every year. The dude did not take a sick day. The dude did not use his vacation days. The dude did not, it was automatic, baby. He is sick going to work. He was burying somebody at 12. He go to work, take his lunch break, go to the funeral, back to work at 1 o'clock. And to me, in my mind, I was like, bro. Yeah. I thought it was crazy that he didn't even use his vacation days. Like, I would probably try to use something against him and say, baby, you gonna work your life away or something. But now that's who I am. Yeah. Now that's who I am, baby. I don't even like, I dedicated 10 years to Tubbs by Grubs. I dedicated 10 years and didn't take no vacations. I'm saying that. We went to Magic Springs for 3 days or something, but yeah. I mean, my employers could even vouch, baby. I dedicated the first 10 years to that company and didn't even take I ain't never called in sick. I ain't never picked up the phone and said I wasn't going to be at work because of so-and-so, baby. I bet in them 10 years on one hand we could say how many days that I missed, or the Magic Springs, or the little trip we took, or whatever. But I had to force myself to take time off of work, and you see it right back there in the corner, baby. I started that outwork everybody shit, and when I started saying that, I was like, okay, now we got to stand on it. Yeah. Now we got to do it. So it's almost like I manifested that just by speaking it. And if you don't know, baby, I know we mentioned it in my last interview, the power of the spoken word and the power of the tongue, baby. Your tongue and your words hold the power of life and death. You can speak yourself into whatever situation that you want. If you always got some negative outlook, or you always got the worst or whatever situation to say, you bet your ass you gonna be drawn to the worst situations that you could be in. But if you always thinking of the highlight, or you always thinking of the best side or the upside, baby, you gonna be drawn to that. It's like we magnetize that shit. You can manifest whatever you want to, baby. You speak it, then you go do it, then you go, then there it is, baby.
Yeah, and speaking about that, in Project Pat's interview, he was talking a lot about manifestation, and he talked about when he went into jail, he was worrying and speaking into existence the fact that he may go fed. Yeah. And sure enough, boom, he spoke it into existence. He said the exact same thing you just said. Yeah. About manifestation, about speaking something into it. And he also talked about speaking other positive stuff in existence, but he talked about the same thing. He said it's very real, and that's in general, like manifestation. I'm a big believer in that for sure. Yeah, and it's not that you even got to believe in it. It is, baby. Yeah. It is. And before we got hip and before we got woke, it was called the tongue. It was called at my house, it was called the power of the tongue. At the dinner table, it was called the power of the tongue. Mama would say, it's okay to think something, but you don't let you hold that captive. Whatever that thought was, nope, baby, I ain't even going there with that. And I turn the music on or get into something else or start talking the opposite. But once you let that thought come out your mouth, you just give it wings, dog.
You just give it wings, dog. And thank God that my mama practiced that and lived that way, baby, because now it's called manifestation when really it is, baby, it's the essence of destiny. If you think something, speak it, you're going to end up doing it. And that's going to end up being your character and your destiny and everything, just from a thought to a word, baby. It's that simple. Yeah. It's that simple, baby.
Yeah, man.
And my bad, I called Chad for the people that, watch this stuff, and shout out to all y'all.
Yeah.
I called Chad leading up to this, and I was like, man, let's do some lighthearted stuff. Let me tell some jokes or something, because I do have another side to me, you know what I mean, that a lot of people don't get to see. I like reserve that for the closest people to me. But naturally, like, my conversations tend to go to a little bit more serious stuff.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people out there that appreciate that. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of people that get in touch with me that would wish I would do that more. Like, I can't tell you how many people have gotten in touch with me and been like, dude, when you do those little motivational talks or something on your story, bro, you don't have no idea. Like that like changed my week, dog. That put me on a different trajectory for the rest of the week, or like give me the fire, the fuel to have a good day or something. But baby, I get so caught up in whatever that we're doing, and I want the message to be so clear that it ends up going to a little bit deeper, more serious side. And evidently it's just something that I can't avoid. But we had planned on this being like a little bit lighter, but you see where it goes naturally, baby.
Yeah. Oh man, it's all good either way, bro.
Yes, sir.
People love the content in general. So like, wrapping stuff up, man, do you want to, obviously we got the second leg of the tour. When this is up, y'all are already starting it.
Yeah.
It's going to be, we'll put this up shortly after the first.
Yeah, few shows.
So. Yeah. Do you want to speak on what else you got in the works in addition to the tour? You working on the music and stuff like that? Yeah,
I want people to know, because a lot of people on my YouTube channel, my biggest audience, want to know where I've been and want to know what the fuck's going on. So I wanted to drop a song every other Friday just to stay in y'all's face, because I felt like if I left for a period of time, that y'all would go stumble on some new music or get back on some old stuff and kind of out of sight, out of mind. But I have found out just through trial and error that dropping a something every other Friday is an excellent way to build your YouTube channel. It's an excellent way to keep people engaged, and it's an excellent way to keep people on your channel. But if you leave YouTube, baby, and you went to go look at my Spotify is kind of stale, because they only have one song to listen to when they go to my page. They listen to that song 2 or 3 times, and then they go to somebody else's page. So I have got to work on a complete project to keep y'all streaming my music more than one song. So if you wonder what we've been doing and you're wondering what we've been, baby, we are trying to get a complete album. And I dropped 12, 14 songs, which is really over an album last year. So it isn't like I haven't dropped a lot of music. It's just that we were in the single mode, and I'm gonna try to get out of the single mode and give y'all a full project. And it is going to be packed with heaters, baby. It's good. So I've had 4 months to assemble 3 really big songs. I'm going to do some music on the road. It's not going to be full-length stuff, but like I'm going to drop a bunch of verses while we're on the road, just to try to keep y'all engaged while we're on the road. Because the more content I feel like we can drop, and it's the same reason me and Chad did this interview while we're doing it right now. This is my next to last weekend at home before we leave, and I'll be gone 5 weeks, but I felt like it was absolutely necessary that he come down, just because you know, we're going to be on the road. And if I'm dropping content while I'm on the road, you know, there's really not a better time to be doing that. So we've been busy, baby. We've been working, and we've been kind of building this little album in the back. I upgraded all my camera, I upgraded all my lighting, I upgraded all my stabilization. Basically everything that we used to shoot a video the last 2 or 3 months, I've spent $10,000-$12,000 upgrading my camera stuffs to give y'all a better video. And when we drop, y'all are gonna see that our video has went from here to here, baby. I mean,
It was already, y'all were already
yeah,
on some pretty
we had some
videos.
nice videos, but
Yeah.
you know, you gotta know, baby, if you're making money off of this stuff and you're going out and putting that money in your pocket, buying clothes and tennies and jerseys and necklaces and caps and shit, baby, all of that shit is gonna get old, and you gonna get that shit away, baby.
Yeah.
You take that money you making from this music shit, and if you can do it for the first 5 years, I guarantee you success. If you can do it for the first year, you got a really good chance. Take everything that you make, take 10% out of there, and that's your money. The other 90% is going right back into the gear, the beats, baby, you cannot take the money that you make from this shit and go buy you some shit, baby. You have got to reinvest it back into what you're doing. If you do that for 5 years, baby, it is scientifically proven that if you take the money that you receive off of your income and put it right back into the business for 5 years, it's almost a shoe-in guarantee that you got a lifelong company.
Yeah.
It is almost a shoe-in, baby. So I'm just taking science and putting it into what we doing, baby. You the equation, baby. If your videos don't get better, if your mix don't get better, if your beats don't get better, if your shit don't get better, baby, you gonna get stuck. You gonna get stuck, baby. It's cool to be thrifty. It's cool to do whatever you have to get by. But if you actually getting the money, baby, put that shit back in your equipment, baby, and watch. Because if it's working with what you're using, what you think's gonna happen if it gets better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure, I definitely understand that. Like, just since the last, I mean, that's what we're trying to do too. Like, since the last interview we did, we're slowly, you know, upgrading stuff.
Yeah, man.
It's what it's all about, man. It's all about growth, dude. I appreciate you letting us come down, man. I know it's kind of a trying time because you've only got a couple weekends left before you're gone again.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we got this in, and we'll put your YouTube and Instagram and all that in the description like always. And we'll have the full interview. Then we'll do multiple clips that we'll throw up, and we'll try to do them 1 or 2 a week while you're on tour.
Yeah,
Kinda
that'll be
keep that-
lovely, baby.
yeah,
And
kinda
the
keep that
shorts and the
circulating.
reels,
Yeah.
yeah, just what
For
I
sure.
seen you doing, baby, and the growth that y'all have had on the channel mixed with the growth of the music, baby. That's awesome to see.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate
somebody that would drive, let's see, 16 hours, spend probably $400 to come sit down and talk to me for 2 or 3 hours, baby. If you can't recognize and respect that,
Yeah.
if you can't recognize and respect that, baby, you ain't got it in you.
Yeah.
You ain't got it in you, baby. Dude
Yeah.
drove 16 hours total, and 200 on the room, 200 on gas, and spent $400 or $600 out of his pocket
Yep.
to come and sit down and talk to me for 2 hours, and then go right back home on his weekend. And if you wondering what it takes to do this shit, baby, if you wondering what it takes to go, if you wondering what, first of all, you got to be able to build a relationship, and even after that, the hard work starts.
Yep.
Now you've got to go spend your whole weekend in Monroe, Louisiana for a 2-hour interview. And it's going to take your whole weekend to get a 2-hour interview, baby. That's why I fuck with Chad Arms, baby. That's why I fuck with ChadArmesTV. That's why I sit down and do this, baby. Y'all go look on the internet. I ain't got interviews, baby. This is why I do it. It's because I see the dude's dedication, and that's why you gonna be a fixed, you know, baby, you gonna be a necessity in this genre, and even bigger than the country rap genre, baby, because we go outside of, we are hip hop, baby.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to see, baby, and then when you see good people win and you see good people grow, baby, you can't help but salute it unless you're a slug-ass hater, baby, and we need them too to fuel the fire too, baby. So if you hating, keep on hating, baby. I really need some more haters. So if you hate, baby, please keep it up, baby. Sign up some new haters, bitch.
Yeah.
Go sign you up. If you could go sign up 5 more Brodnax haters, baby, you have no idea the power that you give me, baby. So, baby, keep on hating, baby, and for the people that love it, baby, thank y'all. I love y'all back, baby. If y'all better, if I'm in a city close to you, baby, ain't no excuse, baby. Bullshit. You been sitting on the couch watching Netflix and Jeffrey Dahmer for the last 5 weekends, bitch. You better get up, get your ass in the car, and come see the show, baby. I promise you won't regret it, baby.
No, for sure, man.
Yeah.
We'll date. I don't know for sure how many dates I'm gonna make, but I'm gonna make at least 1 or 2.
Oh, I know you will.
You'll sign their shirt. You'll sign their forehead.
Oh, they know it, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, you
Yeah.
come to the show. I'm working the booth, baby. It don't matter what you bring or what you got, baby. You gonna get to. It's gonna be more than just a little deal, baby. I end up having conversations with these people. Some people stay at the booth the whole night,
Yeah.
baby. I've had people come stay at the booth the whole night, but getting to meet the people that actually support what I'm doing in person and hear their stories, man. Y'all get up off the couch, baby, and come see the show, baby. I guarantee you won't regret it, baby. And shout out ChadArmesTV for putting in the dedication and the time to come down here and chop it up with me, so we'll have some new content when we're on tour, baby. Country Rap Tour 2 coming to a city near you, baby, and Brodnax music coming to a trunk near you, bitch.
Yeah. ChadArmesTV, man.